Information is a two-way thing. Nigeria Info, it's your turn. Let's talk.
And now, Hard Facts. Hard Facts with Dio.
Good afternoon to you. Welcome to Hard Facts 90.3 Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. It's 12 minutes past 3 p.m. and yes, it's another edition of the show. It's Wednesday today. That means we're having the midweek edition of the show. That means we're having Canvas and Adedayo Roundtable today, where we're going to be discussing, as usual, as we do every Wednesday for over 4 years now, the growth and progressive development of the Niger Delta region. Very crucial, extremely important if you ask me. Today on the show we're focusing on sustainable social investment in the Niger Delta. That's sustainable social investment in the Niger Delta. My guest is Dr. Gloria Udo. Will be joining me for that conversation much later on the show today. And let's see, Dr. Gloria Udo is one that works as a social performance and social investment manager for Shell Nigeria and Sub-Saharan Africa. Alright, that comes up in the 4 o'clock hour after the business news. Taking us to 5, I'll intimate you as to what other discussions we're having on the show today in a moment. But it is the first day in the month of December 2021. Congratulations to you. Happy new month. And compliment to the season. I think it's very much in order. It's not too early to say that, is it? I don't think so. And I don't think it's too early to start playing the Christmas jingles as well. I just might get into that in the course of today's show and see how that goes. But I wouldn't mind some joy to the world melodies right now. God knows I need a lot of joy, and God knows that you need plenty of joy as well. Really, we could do with a lot of joy. You and I, we could do with a lot of joy right now, because you get the feeling sometimes that there isn't a lot of joy out there. You know, like there isn't a lot of joy. So we could do with some goodwill and some joy this season. I do hope that you find some joy in this season. I very much hope so. I do hope that Nigerians can find some joy as well. Happy new month once again. The final month in the year, in spite of everything, you made it. That should count for something. That counts for something, you know. The recession, unemployment, insecurity, police, excellency, honorable. You survived all of these things and these persons, and you're here today. Yeah, you're here today. You survived world-class health facilities. I mean, really. And you survived all of that, and you made it to this point. That counts for something. That definitely counts for something. Congratulations to you. It's been a rough ride, I imagine, but a truly challenging one, if ever there were a challenging journey. But you navigated it till this point. That means a lot, really. Congratulations to you once again. Now, from now till about 7 o'clock on the show today, a few matters we're going to be addressing, and you're very much welcome to join in, by the way. At about 7, it all comes to an end. The sports gang will be in by 7, and of course we are in the month of December. That means that there are going to be it's going to be plenty of football, European football, especially top flight football, especially with the English Premier League. We're going to have lots of games coming in quick succession, midweek games. Of course, the weekend games are still going to be there as well. So we've got some games coming up tonight, and you bet the sports gang will be in to bring you all the action analysis from those games. Of course, a few of them coming up much later on tonight. We've got games tomorrow night as well. Catch all the action with the sports gang, plus other happenings around the world for major sporting activities. So, let's see what today's show has got to offer. I've got side comments coming up in a moment, you know the usual. Random stories and random thoughts of mine on them. And I'll get your take. Till about more just for some minutes, rather. I'm not getting your take now. I'll get your take on the side comments later on. during the open season segment. That's after the major news at 6 p.m. But I will definitely be taking your take on another matter shortly. That's today's rant, which also traditionally comes after the side comments. I have an opinion or some opinion on some matter. I'll have to get your take on mine till 4. Business news at 4, Canvas on air after that, brought to you by SPDC till 5. The news update then. And afterwards, now yesterday, there was a conversation, a matter on the show yesterday. I wanted some expert opinion on the matter because I've learned, actually I've learned this for a very long time really, that on certain issues it's best to have expert opinion. If you just throw those matters open, you get all kinds of things. And I'll just leave it at that, all kinds of things, you know. So the conversation was, I was to have expert opinion on the matter yesterday. It didn't happen. We had some, might I say, technical and other issues that caused that to not happen. So we're going to give it another shot today, and hopefully it's going to work out well. On the matter of the story by Punch newspaper, Electoral Act amendments, Buhari writes, INEC seeks advice on direct primaries. Others, I will be speaking with Kenneth Nweke. He's a professor of politics and governance at the Ignatius Ajuru University of Education. He'll be joining me for that conversation in the 5 o'clock hour. Are we better off with direct or indirect primaries? What exactly are they, by the way? How do they differ? Are there pros and cons for either of them? Direct or indirect primaries? How do they differ? What are there similarities which would further help in deepening and improving our democratic process? These matters and others related we'll be considering in the 5 o'clock hour. Headlines at 5:30, making it at 6, and of course, open season afterwards. If you've missed out on any matter discussed on the show or mentioned by me during my side comments, for example, I'll entertain your thoughts at that time till about 7 when it all comes to an end. A reminder, the sports gang will be in right afterwards. So, keeping the conversation going out with today's side comments. Let's see. Those items, or news items, that caught my attention earlier on today as I checked out the news. Now, today is World AIDS Day. Project manager of the River State Agency for the Control of AIDS, Riv Saka, Naziga Francis, says stigma and discrimination against persons living with HIV and AIDS has reduced in the state. And he attributed the reduction to the level of sensitization and the effectiveness of the antiretroviral drugs. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I know, you know, maybe you only hear about things like on days like this or during periods like this when there is a World Something Day, for example, a World AIDS Day. But even if that's were the case, take out the time to educate yourself. Yes, you know, there was a time when the campaign was quite rampant and was everywhere you turned on the subject matter, possibly. Maybe not so much these days. And you might think, oh yeah, I heard it all. Yeah, you may have heard it all back then, but there could be some new information on the matter right now. So take out time, Google a few things, spend a few times on your phone, not just Snapchat and checking out videos of pictures on Instagram or TikToking and the rest of it. Spend some time to educate yourself as well. So just, I don't know, go online, spend a few minutes, couple of minutes checking out World AIDS Day and what's going on as far as research is concerned, about as far as treatment is concerned, and very important as far as prevention is concerned. Educate yourself. No knowledge is lost. I think some people say that. So yeah, and remember, very important, do not stigmatize people living with HIV or AIDS. If you were to find out someone were, do not stigmatize them. It's wrong to do so. All right. Maybe in the days to come we might have a detailed conversation on this with some experts, I suppose. And a safety expert in Port Harcourt, Sam Bums, has urged relevant government authorities, including stakeholders, to up their game in the area of preventing fire outbreaks. Mr. Bums gave this advice while speaking on the lack of safety measures compliance by citizens. He said the recent fire outbreaks in Port Harcourt would have been prevented if such measures were observed. Well, no doubt about that. Citizens have a role to play, definitely, but government sets the standards. That's what happens. Government sets the standards, and the citizens are supposed to comply with the standards. The question is, what standards has government set? And in this case, the River State government, what standards, as far as safety in River State is concerned, what standard has the River State government set for anyone to follow? What is the preparedness levels of government itself, of the state, to respond to emergencies or disasters? What really is the preparedness levels? We need to look into this area very, very seriously, no doubt about that, and be proactive. Let's be proactive. Let's not wait for something tragic to happen. Then honorables and excellencies will assemble in front of cameras and be intermittently murmuring joy and expressing the consternation with the unfortunate incident, and promising that humongous sums have been earmarked to tackle something, and then nothing is done until some point when an honorable or an excellency is affected by it. Then you see everybody jumping over the place to show that something tangible is done about it. So let's not wait for that to happen, because ordinary Nigerians and citizens of this country are human beings also, in case honorables and excellency did not know. So let's not wait for something to happen to an honorable or an excellency. Let's take proactive measures right now. Let's take proactive measures. A stitching time is a safe 9. Let's have a River State Emergency Management Agency. It's a great idea. There is no downside to that idea. There's literally no downside to it from a governance perspective, from a social responsibility perspective, from a safety perspective, from an emergency management perspective, from a good governance perspective. There is no downside to it. There are only positives. So why we don't have this yet is completely beyond me. And why we're not hearing conversation ongoing, especially in government circles, about this is also quite surprising indeed. And what are we doing with fire response capacities in River State? I asked this. I've been asking it some time right now. In a week of the several fires we have in River State, what's been going on? How many fire service stations do we have in River State? How many firefighters, trained firefighters, do we have in River State? How many fire trucks do we have in River State? What's our preparedness levels to fight fires in River State? Everywhere in River State, not just in Port Harcourt or in Government House, but everywhere in River State. What's it like? What's it like? And this is not marginalization. This is not the federal. This is not federal government. No. This is not marginalization. Also, the Petroleum Products Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria, Petron, said it has intensified its fight against the distribution of illegal petroleum products under its 3P program. The Petron chairman in River State, Francis Chilam Dingpan, told our correspondent, the association is ensuring that the issue of soot is tackled in River State by destroying centers of fire. Mr. Chilam Dingpan said the arrests have been made and trucks seized. Let's hear from Chilam Dingpa. Everyone is talking right now. That's what happens when something goes wrong. Everybody starts to talk of the matter. You start to wondering what exactly is going on beyond the talk.
As we speak, the compliance team is in the field day and night, 24/7, and results are being expected to come in.
Okay. Results are being expected. I hope we wouldn't have to wait until the next fire and more people lose their lives before we start to hear talk about these results that are being expected to make.
Arrested are handed over to the law enforcement agencies for prosecution.
How many people have been arrested precisely? Where were they arrested? What are the circumstances under which they were arrested? When did the prosecution commence, or when will it commence? Do we have cases in court going on already? Have we had any convictions on the matter? These are very relevant questions we are asking.
Trucks arrested are handed over to relevant law enforcement areas, and the drivers and owners of those trucks will be prosecuted. We shall leave no stone unturned at ensuring that the industry of petroleum product distribution is sanitary.